I'm not seeking penance for what I've done, Father. And I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do.
You stink.
Well, I'm a piece of shit and shit stinks.
Sweet Christmas.
That's the problem, Matt. I'm all out of calm.
They're not the Earth's mightiest heroes. They don't have a tower, a helicarrier, or a billionaire writing their checks. They fight in the alleys, the hallways, and the streets that no one talks about. They're the Defenders. While the Avengers are saving the world from alien invasions, somebody still has to protect the streets, the alleys, the shadows. That's where the Defenders step in. The Defenders aren't a traditional team. There's no official roster, no matching uniforms, and definitely no press conferences. They're a loose alliance of heroes who get dragged into the same mess and realize, yeah, we might need some backup. They don't form because a robot wants to destroy all humans or a multiversal threat. They team up because their neighborhood's on fire and someone's gotta do something about it. Before Hell's Kitchen in Harlem took the spotlight, the Defenders were something else entirely. Back in the 1970s, the team was made up of a lineup that felt more like a cosmic fever dream than a street-level squad. Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Namor the Submariner, and eventually the Silver Surfer. They weren't friends, they weren't even a team in the traditional sense. They were outcasts, loners with godlike powers and a tendency to break things more than fix them. Strange was a mystic glue, holding them together. Hulk brought the rage, Namor brought the arrogance, and Silver Surfer brought the existential dread. Somehow it worked. They weren't Avengers, they didn't follow orders or have a mansion. They came together when the world was about to break, and then went their separate ways. That's what made them the Defenders, not a team, a last resort. But as Marvel evolved, so did the Defenders. The threats got smaller, but somehow more personal, and that's where the modern Defenders came in. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Each one of them is broken, but in some way, together they work. Their first time team up in the comics, The Defenders 2017 by Brian Michael Bendis and David Marquez. That series finally brought the street-level crew together officially. No more loose alliances, just the real deal. They weren't saving the world, they were taking it to Diamondback, gangsters, and the criminals trying to own New York from the underground up. It felt raw, grounded, and long overdue. Daredevil is the heart of the team, blind lawyer by day, walking one-man war on crime by night. He's the moral center, and the guy most likely to get everyone in trouble because of his morals. Jessica Jones. Her superpower is telling you exactly where to shove it before throwing you through a wall. Private investigator with super strength, deep trauma, and a sixth sense for people's bullshit. Luke Cage is the backbone.
I guess you guys haven't heard about me.
He doesn't wear a costume, he doesn't carry a shield, he doesn't hide who he is. He just walks the streets like they belong to him. Because they do. He's bulletproof, sure, but his real strength is how much he cares about his neighborhood. He's not out there for glory, he's out there for Harlem. Iron Fist is, well, in the comics, a billionaire monk with a glowing fist and a lot to prove. A living weapon trained in the mystic city of Kunlun. He's got the power, the legacy, and unfortunately one of the worst portrayals in Marvel history. But when written right, Danny Rand could be a beast. A martial arts prodigy who can channel pure energy into a punch that hits like a truck made of adamantium. In the show, let's just say his biggest fight was convincing people he knew Kung Fu. The Defenders are raw. They bleed. They struggle. They mess up. There's no cosmic backup, no shield reinforcements. They're the heroes who fight the fights no one else sees. Gang wars, corrupt corporations, ninja cults. They don't punch aliens, they punch slumlords and assassins. The stakes feel personal, and sometimes that makes them even more dangerous than gods or super soldiers. The Defenders' biggest collective enemy is the Hand, an ancient ninja cult with resurrection powers and unlimited resources. When it comes to the Defenders, one thing stands out just as much as the heroes: the villains. Each Defender brought their own rogues gallery, and together, these enemies helped shape the street-level war for New York. Let's start with Daredevil. The Devil of Hell's Kitchen has one of the most iconic street-level villains, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. But by the time of the Defenders, Fisk was locked up, and the bigger threat was the Hand, an ancient, mystical organization that Daredevil had already tangled with in his solo series. They're ninjas, sure, but they're also resurrection-obsessed warlords with centuries of knowledge and no mercy. Jessica Jones, on the other hand, brought psychological warfare to the mix with Kilgrave. Even though he was gone by the time of the Defenders, the trauma he caused Jessica still shaped her actions. Her villains weren't world-ending monsters, they were manipulative, real-world evils, and that grounded her role in the team. Luke Cage gave us villains that represented the corrupt systems in Harlem. People like Cottonmouth,
Because everybody wants to be the king.
Mariah Dillard, and Bushmaster. All of them rooted in the reality of power, money, and legacy. No powers needed to be dangerous. And then there's Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, whose entire story is wrapped around the hand. His destiny, his powers, his trauma, all connected to the organization that the Defenders would ultimately fight together. The Hand was more than just a villain to Danny. They were the shadow behind everything that stole his life. So when the Defenders come together, it's not just a team-up, it's a collision of villains, mystical forces, and criminal empires, and deep personal demons. And that's what made the Defenders storyline feel raw and grounded. These weren't Avengers-level threats. They were the kind that crawled out of alleyways and penthouse suites, the kind that left scars. They fought dragons, undead warriors, and literal armies hiding in the sewers. And through it all, the Defenders managed to win. Not because they're stronger, but because they refuse to lose. The Defenders are all wildly different. One's a Catholic ninja lawyer, one's a superpowered PI with trauma and trust issues. One's a Harlem king who never asked for a crown. One's a billionaire monk who seriously needs a new fight choreographer.
A lot of willingness for the fans to see that not happen as well. Like, I'm very aware of the critiques of the character and my role in it. My response to that is like, give me a fucking chance, man. I'm here and I'm ready and I want to prove people wrong. I would love to see that happen.
But what unites them? They've all been broken, they've all been let down by the system, and they all chose to keep fighting anyway. They're not here for glory, they're not here for fame. They're here to protect the little guy that no one else thinks about. The Defenders don't save the world, they save the block. Let me know in the comments which Defender is your favorite. That's it for this one. If you like this video, stick around. We've got more comic content coming, whether it's street level stories or cosmic chaos. We're breaking it all down. Catch you in the next one. Stay heroic.
Y'all Harlem niggas are off the hook. I'm going back to Hell's Kitchen where it's safe.